Aries. Now if you see for Aries, Rahu will go in the sign of Pisces in the 12th house, whereas Ketu will move in the 6th house. So what you have to do is you will have to protect your own subconscious mind from thinking all the negativity, because Rahu in the 12th house will make you focus more on what you can lose, whereas Ketu in the 6th house can, trigger fears. It can make your focus shift away from your core duties and responsibilities, and because of the insecurities of the mind, you can think on all sorts of directions except where you should focus. So when Rahu goes in the 12th and Ketu goes in the 6th, focus more on the issues at hand, something that is where your priority should be. So you need to make that priority list and find out what are the areas where your core responsibilities lie, and then put your full attention on that particular area. Because if your mind is all over the place, Rahu in the 12th is going to play with that. Rahu in the 12th is going to create psychological issues, especially for Aries moon sign. But on the other hand, for people who are more, who are willing to move abroad, who are willing to study abroad, this is a very good time. It's a very good time to establish business out of the local and go global. So it's more of a global transit, but you have to understand that while going global, you should not cross your limit, because Ketu in the 6th house will force you to cross your limit. There will be a need to shine bright, and in order to do that, you may take any random path. So do not follow the path of adharma while Rahu is in the 12th and Ketu is in the 6th house. And when Saturn, which is in the 11th house, aspects your lagna, your acharan, your attitude should be extremely sattvic. Taurus. Now in case of Taurus, if you observe, Rahu is in the 11th house. Now 11th house Rahu can be really good for gains, for creating connection with people who are from abroad, who are not local. This creates international alliances and international relations. So for people who want to travel abroad, who want to build yourself, build your personality internationally, this is a great time. But on the other hand, Ketu's movement in the 5th house can, detach you from your own self, can detach you from your own children, while you focus on earnings, while you focus on income, and while you focus on, growing yourself internationally, growing yourself out in the open. Maybe you are gaining wealth, maybe you are becoming successful, especially in your corporate career related to technology, career that are more export and import oriented. But what are you losing? So when Rahu is in the 11th house, winning and victory will come. But then you have to understand at what cost is the victory coming. Because of the cost of the victory that you will pay may make the victory unworthy. Enjoy the victory that is coming from Rahu in the 11th, but always keep a watch on your productivity, on what you are losing, what you are paying in return, while Rahu is giving you this sort of success. Otherwise, Rahu in the sign of Pisces in the 11th house is grand success, wealth will come, new source of income will come, and you will also see unexpected network circle, unexpected connections being built up in the network circle. All that is fine, but you should have more focus on Ketu, and greed should be avoided at all cost. Gemini. Now in case of Gemini, if you observe, Rahu is going in the 10th house. Now 10th house Rahu is very good for your career. 10th house Rahu is where you will grow in your personality, where you will grow, your image will grow, your career will grow, or you also will become obsessed for your career and your image. And for that you are ready to leave the comfort zone. But it also means that controversy that are going around you in the career, maybe your success isn't taken positively by someone, maybe someone is unhappy by your growth, your promotion, that can make your life a little bit uncomfortable. So when Rahu goes in the 10th house, you have to observe who your enemy is, How can you build your image positively, free from controversy, which also means you should avoid speaking something or doing something that can go against your image. Otherwise, this is a very good time. It will give you career growth, prosperity, but it can also create tussle between your ambitions, your desires, and your family's point of view. You might travel abroad, you might relocate during this time. That is also a possibility. So you should plan accordingly. And whenever you are watching Rahu transit in Pisces, observe what Jupiter is doing. So Jupiter will be in Aries zodiac sign, and it is actually your 11th house. So this Rahu is only going to give you positivity, success. But as you say, Rahu being Rahu and Ketu being Ketu, you really can't trust everything that come easily. Few things which are easy is good, but you should never forget that Saturn is in 9th house. That means destiny will test you. Maybe Rahu in the 10th house will try to test your true potential, your true requirement. What if you're trying for something, are you really worthy for that? So Rahu will give you alternative ways and will test whether you get lured by that alternative pathway or you stick to what you want. Now this is going to be a play of mind. Sometimes going and taking that alternative pathway is correct, and sometimes sticking to what you have already started is the best. And that is best judged through your own horoscope. Cancer. Now for Kark Rashi and Kark Lagna, Rahu's movement will be in the 9th house. Now this is a tricky situation. 9th house is the house of dharma, whereas Rahu might represent adharma, or you say alternative ways of handling things. So when Rahu goes in 9th house, you must be very clear in your stand, and you must, if you're following something, some ideology, if you're, say for example, you have this faith and belief that you want to quit the job and go to business, you must verify this with all sorts of data. Also, Rahu being a fierce warrior, Rahu in the 9th house will fight and you will fight for what you believe. Everything is good, but what if your belief is wrong? Say for example, you believe that a certain business will help you grow quickly, but maybe you're wrong. Maybe the business will not grow quickly. Maybe if you're doing a job, that is the right thing as per your horoscope. So what you should do? Here you will need the help of astrology. Here you will need the help of healing. Here you will need the help of other people who are learned. But the problem is Rahu coming in the 9th house can make you believe that your knowledge is best, and therefore you will reject all possibilities, and that is the worst thing that you can do. You should focus on your potential. Good. You should have confidence on yourself. Very good. But having overconfidence is what you should avoid. This can also create fight with father, brothers, dispute over properties. So be mindful. Emotionally, you should be very stable, and you should avoid falling into the hands of wrong news. Until and unless you verify the data, don't believe in it. So maybe you are hearing something about someone, don't trust that information immediately. Verify. And therefore, reading books, reading Bhagavad Gita is the biggest remedy, while Rahu is in 9th and Ketu is in 3rd. Leo. Now in case of Leo, Rahu will be in the 8th house. Now 8th house Rahu is a very mysterious Rahu. It can open up can of worms, but also can make you reveal a lot of secrets. It can help you discover something that you have never experienced, never seen before, and it can give you an opportunity to grow it at a pace that you can't even imagine. But also this Rahu has a potential to give you a lot of fear, can open the unknown in front of you, and can make you feel unworthy in a lot of ways. It can make you insecure. Financially, it can create losses. What you should avoid is investing unnecessarily. You should avoid going and spending money at places where you know there will be less return or no return. Risk should be avoided. It is a non-risk taking transit. 8th house can either grow your potential multifold, or it can also create mammoth amount of obstacles and hurdles. So which means that you will have to deal this case by case basis, day by day basis, and not jump into any conclusion. You should also not create any unnecessary mindset about someone. You should be ready to verify the information. Rahu in 8th house is great for people who are in occult, who are into meditation, tantra, wellness, spirituality, alternative therapies. This will give you more insight into deep knowledge, deep sciences, philosophical sciences, and also will tell you a lot about the importance of giving up, the importance of quitting something at the right time, and maybe shifting into a new dimension. It's a dimensional shift for Leo. Considering Saturn in the 7th, you need to listen to the advice of elderly and people who have a lot of experience. Ego is your worst enemy. Virgo. Now, Virgo is one of the zodiac sign that will experience a lot because of this Rahu Ketu transit. Because Ketu will be on your ascendant, Rahu will be in your 7th house. You might meet your potential life partner, your attitude will change, your personality will change. Ketu is like that scrubber which will scrub your top layer of your attitude, of your potential, and it will make you a finer person. So it will also make you focus on finer details, micromanagement. Except in relationship, all this will work in your career. But relationship is one angle where your attention will be drawn more, especially if you are married and if your married life is negative, it's bad. What you should do is you should pray to Jupiter, do Jupiter mantra, pray to Bhagwan Ganesh, and be ready to sacrifice, be ready to change yourself, be a non-rigid person, flexible. On the other hand, Rahu's 7th house influence is the influence coming from the surroundings, from the circumstance. So be very careful about what circumstance you are in, what surroundings you are in at the time of living this transit, executing certain tasks. You should also ensure that you are constantly among people who are learned, who are experienced, you are in satsang, and you are becoming more and more positive. Optimism is the key here. If you become pessimistic, there are hundreds of ways Ketu can make you believe that you are not up to the mark, or you are not fit, or you are not confident. And Rahu can create distractions that will create procrastination and take you away from the possibilities. Otherwise, this Ketu will give you success. It will take away all the negativity. It might be difficult at first, but after a while, it's like polishing the diamond. It requires strength, it requires time, but what the end result is quite worthy. So it is a gem of a transit, but only if you experience it with the right eyes and with the right mindset. So stay positive. Libra. Now in case of Libra, if you observe that Ketu has left your ascendant and it has gone in your 12th house. And Rahu has left your 7th house and has gone to the 6th house. When Ketu goes in the 12th house, it is about moksha. So this transit is about liberation. This transit is about freedom. This transit is about going to different places. But also it can create enemies. Say for example, you quit a partnership. You are thinking to leave a certain task in between. There may be dependencies of other people on that. And because of your decision to quit, this can create enmity. So think about that. This is also the time when you should focus more on your health. This is the time when you should focus more on your recovery. And if you are in isolation, this is going to end your isolation. It's a great time for people to go into a new type of career, especially if you are connected to technology and technology related careers. Overall for Libra, this is much about freedom. This is much about relief, especially if you are a Libra moon sign, because Ketu on moon is more acute than Ketu on ascendant. 12th house also means that you will be finding it much more easier to leave the country, leave the place, go to a different city, relocate yourself. And if you are looking for new startups, if you're an entrepreneur, this is a great time, because Rahu in 6th house in modern day and age can help you, gain new insights and gain new technologies and get help that will help you in the scientific approach. If you are a scientist, if you are into healing, if you are into medicine, all this is going to promote itself. You will be finding yourself in a much better situation and position. Just again, I will reiterate, avoid finding new enemies. Scorpio. Now in case of Scorpio, Ketu will be in your 11th house where Rahu is in the 5th house. Now this means that you need to focus more on the process. You need to focus more on your communication. You need to focus more on finding the result and consequences of your actions rather than focusing on the total result. Say for example, you are planning to study something, you are planning to get into a job, you are planning to join a certain company, you are planning to start a business. Now this means that you need to focus on what can happen if you do that. But the moment you decide that you are okay to go ahead, you give yourself a go ahead and you have rolled out the process and you have started walking into that direction, then forget what are you going to get as an outcome. Ketu in the 11th house means moksha from your wishes. So it's a time when your wishes will come true only if you are working hard towards it, but not thinking about when it will come true. Say for example, it's like being in a train. When you sit in the train, you know what is the end destination. And when you sit in the train, you don't ask other passengers, hey, where is this train going? Because that is stupid. So once you are in the train, sit back, relax and enjoy the view of life. Similarly, when Ketu is in the 11th house, this can create new alliances, break old alliances, old partnerships, and can restructure your expectations from life, can restructure your goals in life. And Rahu in the 5th house can give you new insights, new learning. Great time to go for certain certifications, great time for people who are in the corporate sector. This is also going to give you a lot of gut feeling, that sixth sense. So use that in your favor, and you will see that this will be a tremendously beautiful transit for Scorpio natives. One good thing is that Saturn is now stable in Aquarius, which is 4th from your moon, and which means that Saturn's aspect on the 10th house combined with Rahu in the 5th house means career changes are possible, new learning is possible. One thing about students, you will have to be very careful because distraction will stop you from learning a particular thing. Your mind will keep on switching. Like if some student is willing to decide whether to go in science or whether to go in commerce, that is when the confusion comes. Too many options to choose from is going to create more confusion. So at that time you will need help. Sagittarius. Now in case of Sagittarius, Rahu, Ketu will be in your 4th and the 10th house respectively. This means that there will be dramatic shift in your career, in your role in life. You can buy new property. Your focus will be more towards your comfort. You will focus more on your health and what can give you comfort and relief. It's not good if you are completely focused on your comfort zone and not really focusing on the hard work, because Ketu in the 10th house may make you feel as if you have done a lot of hard work and you're not getting any result. So now it's the time to quit. So it will have this, Ketu will give you this feeling that enough is enough and now you want to change the ways of working. On the other hand, Ketu also means diversification. Ketu can also represent flag. So if Ketu in your birth chart is positive, this can mean great success, a success that you have never seen before, some happiness that you have never experienced before, out of the world growth. But for people who have Rahu, Ketu negative in their birth chart, if you have a Pitru dosh and you are a Sagittarius ascendant, you need to understand that this can turn out to be a transit where your investments, your career, your money, your happiness can be at stake. And if that happens, you need to correct those Pitru dosh. You need to pray to Rahu and Ketu by chanting their mantras. Overall for Sagittarius, Sagittarius is a very Jupiterian dominated zodiac. And when Rahu goes in Pisces, it takes the shape of Jupiter and Ketu takes the shape of Mercury. That means the information that is coming to you, something that is going to make you comfortable, the definition of that may change. Say for example, you're living in a certain city or a certain climate is making you comfortable now, but after 6 months, you will start hating it. You will move to a different place, different climate. So look for more diversification, look for more growth, keep moving ahead, don't stop, and you should take each day at a time and keep moving on the forward. Take one step at a time. but always remember why you started, from where you are coming. Focus on your roots. Ketu also means roots. So if your roots and fundamentals are strong, your overall career, health and married life will be will actually see a good result out of this Rahu Ketu transit. But the moment you bring in ego or greed or comparison, then you will see the negative side effects. Capricorn. Now in case of Capricorn, if you observe, Rahu Ketu's movement is very unique. Why? Because if you see, Rahu will be in the 3rd house and Ketu will be in the 9th house. So it will make you do a lot of activity. It's full of action-packed transit. There will be sudden travel, but also there will be disputes with property-related matters and disputes with your younger siblings, with your father. You might reject the teachings of your guru and you will go on your own path. Now see, going in your own path, following your own dream and passion is not bad. But if you're rejecting something which is obvious, something which is natural, something which is true, thinking that your truth is the ultimate truth, then this transit will create hurdles and problems. Otherwise, Ketu is the planet of moksha, and Ketu is going in the house of dharma, so it is going to take you to spiritual places. So traveling cannot be avoided. So try to go to temple every day. Try to seek the blessings. Try to follow the path of spirituality. Quit addictions. And all this will be favored by this Rahu Ketu transit. But with Jupiter movement in the 4th and the 5th house, this is an excellent time for learning, for education. People who want to start new things, people who want to start things on their own, away from their family lineage, this is a great time. But again, I will say that do not bypass something that is already there. Value what you already have, and parallelly you can build your own future, your own life. People who are self-made, people who are lonely, who don't get support or who don't have support of their family, this is a great and excellent time. You will get a lot of courage from this Rahu. But again, Rahu being a planet of extreme energies, this courage can quickly turn into overconfidence, and that can bring mistakes. So be careful, be alert, and if you're aware, this transit will really help you. Aquarius. Now in case of Aquarius, if you observe, the position of Rahu Ketu is 2nd and the 8th house. Now 8th house Ketu is about going into the occult, going into the depth, trying to go finding the root cause of the problems. Whereas Rahu in the 2nd house shows abundance. Rahu in the 2nd house shows that you are getting lot of things. Now you need to understand that you cannot let this convert into greed. There can be family issues because Rahu is in the 2nd house. There can be insecurities also, especially if your moon is afflicted. What you should do at this time is focus on the core fundamental problems and solve it one at a time. Focus more on earning money and also giving it some part of the money for good cause. What that will do is it will bring internal satisfaction. See, when Rahu is in the 2nd house, it has the potential to give you a lot of money, a lot of wealth. But Ketu in the 8th house may drag that wealth away from you. You may overspend it, you may convert it into some loss, especially you may put it into risky portfolios and investments. Don't do that. Also, Rahu in the 2nd house can create issues related to dental problems. So you need to take care of your food. It can also create addictions. So try not to indulge into alcohol or smoking, even if you are depressed or if you feel you are sad. Chanting Om Namah Shivaya will be ultimate mantra for Rahu in the 2nd and Ketu in the 8th. Focus on core spirituality. For people who are connected to occult, will see great boost. Pisces. Now in case of Pisces, Rahu will be moving on your Ascendant and Ketu is in your 7th house. Now this is like new identity, trying to bring out a new version of you. But for that you need to dissociate yourself from people around you. You need to focus more on yourself, but understand that you cannot be self-obsessed during this time. You cannot be so self-obsessed that you forget everybody else. One thing is a little bit of detachment so that you have this focus directed at yourself. And the other thing is, which is the negative one, being a narcissistic person. So think about that. Also, Rahu in the first house will give you new opportunities. It will give you new thought process. Your vision will cross dimensions, and this means that you can be a great innovator during this time. So if you are into startups, if you are into technology, if you are into medicine, this can be a great time. Rahu can also give you new kind of thinking, new philosophy, new ideas. So bring that out in the open. But understand that one thing is bringing out a new idea which can create big changes, and the another thing is the ideas are actually harmful for the society. So you need to also understand that. Rahu in the first house can give new age thinking, new modern growth and technology based, science based approach, which is very good. But this can also create differences with people who are following the traditional approach. You should follow the amalgamation, the merger of both traditional as well as modern. And then you will see Rahu in the first and Ketu in the second will actually give you a lot of success, growth, money, great finances, good health. But yes, it can also bring addiction, it can also bring obsession, and it can also create psychological issues if moon in your birth chart is weak. And if that is there in your birth chart, a weak moon, then chant Om Namah Shivaya at least 108 times every day.